Today I want to show you this really cool telephone whose base was made in Spain by Citesa in Malaga, but everything else was not made in Spain. So here's why. Let me show you the bottom first. So for those of you who live in Spain, you all know that this is basically what the bottom of the phone looks like, but this one is missing the letters and numbers that are usually in this spot next to the ring adjuster, and they would have something that would say CTNE or such and such. This one's a little different. One thing you notice is, one, the lack of letters and numbers. I believe in this spot they were rubbed out somehow from another company. I'm not sure. This rectangle actually says Citesa Malaga made in Spain, but you actually have to look at it really closely in order to read it. It looks like it had been wiped off or something, but the outline has been left over. Citesa never put these vents on the holes of the bottom of their Heraldos. This was kind of, I guess, maybe a feature of their export versions. Those actually are removable too. They just like pushed them in and snap into place. Everything on the base were made by Citesa in Spain, but everything else wasn't. Citesa never made the Heraldos with this type of dial, and they never used black cords on their telephones. So those are two things. The holes that are for the cords to come out from were never square shaped on the Heraldo telephones. They were mouse holes. So the plastics were definitely not made in Spain. You can see that this particular grommet for the restraint of this cord fits right in that slot in the holes, just like this one. This telephone was already equipped with a modern cord, so it had been removed before I came into possession of this phone. There's a crack there. That is from when you tighten the screw too much, causing the plastic to split. We know that the plastics were not made in Spain, including the handset, and the dial was not made in Spain. This type of dial is a base standard or Face standard type of dial in the handset. Let me actually show you. Let me push this out of the way. The receiver was made by Standard Electrica S.A. and Industria Brasileira. This was made in Brazil. This one is 1973. And let's see, we have the transmitter here. Eletroacústica. This was made in Brazil. You also have some markings here. This is from 1986 of January. I believe, all in all, this telephone was probably used in the country of Peru for the CPTSA, CPTSA, Compañía Peruana de Teléfonos S.A. My reasoning is that their telephones were this type of design as well. They had their own base as well as their own company that made the parts as well, such as the ringer, and that company is called FETSA, F-E-T-S-A. But this one, of course, exported from Spain, but they also used Spanish imports as well. And one thing they did on the bottom of their telephones, whether it was the chassis was from Spain or made in Peru, is that they would put a sticker for the CPTSA somewhere on the bottom. And what I've seen pictures of telephones in Peru is that they have their sticker there, and sometimes they're ripped off. And of course right there is some residue. I do have this phone hooked up to the analyzer, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pick up the receiver and dial a few numbers to show you that it's registering. So let's go ahead and do that. There is some dial tone. So I'll just dial a few numbers. Dial's really quiet too. 3, and we got a 6 and a 9. And now let's go ahead and do a ring test on it. Yep, concentric bell ringer. Just like the Spanish telephones. So there's that. Pictures will follow at the end of this video to show you the insides. Let me know what you think. So I hope you enjoyed this interesting telephone, and thanks for watching.